everybody, it's Michelle LaVore and
Devin LaVore
coming at ya. So, we just kind of wanted to share where we're at with our journey. And
yes.
So we left
Been
off.
interesting.
Yeah. It's I guess when we last spoke, it was
previously on the LaVores.
And we were just talking about how God was just getting all of this heart junk out. And then the last Monday, the rest of Monday, and all yesterday were just, again, like these days where some stuff was coming out. It wasn't nearly what it was on Sunday. But there was just stuff still kind of coming up. And it was like, man, what is going on?
Well, it's like, I thought I was over this.
Yeah.
Why is this coming up again just as strong, just as intensely?
Yeah.
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 I thought I had breakthrough. What's the deal?
Yeah.
Right? Is it?
Exactly. And then it was just like yesterday I was just kind of down, but I was trying to fight. I really
wasn't as bad.
It really wasn't as bad.
Each day, so it's like happened over a 3-day period.
Yeah. And
each day was progressively less terrible.
Yeah.
So keep the terrible in there, but it was less terrible.
Yeah. And then yesterday afternoon, I was in the bedroom and Elia and I were playing, and then you came in and you were like, all right, here's what God wants to say.
Oh, I had a prophecy, man. The fire of God was all over me, and I'm just like, I'm getting ready to burn some stuff up. Not me, but the Lord. You know, I can't do nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
And so basically, Devin just shares with me, like, hey, like, this is basically God put me on a program. I just didn't realize that I was being put on a program.
A workout program.
A workout program. And that basically he is doing exactly what I asked him to do, what I've been praying for, what I've been longing for all this time. And
you know, like in those moments where you're feeling good and you're like, Lord, I just pray you would do this thing, and you don't realize how really hard that's going to be.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's like,
what are you doing? Yeah. This is what you told me to do. No, I didn't tell you to do that.
No.
Oh, yeah, actually you did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. And then of course Devin was like, well, you know, I feel like, you know, in 6 weeks you'll look back and you'll be like, whoa, I look so awesome.
How did you feel when you heard the 6 weeks thing?
Oh, I was just 6 weeks. 6 weeks. You mean I have to be here like this for 6 weeks? And he's like, no, I'm not saying you have to be there for like that for 6 weeks. But just that it's like when you go on a 6-week program when you're working out. You know, really that first week is it's the roughest because especially if you haven't been working out for a long, long time and you get back into it and your muscles just ache and they're sore and they're like screaming at you, what are you doing? And it's like, just stop, don't do this. But you know, if you keep going and you keep continuing by, you know, within 6 weeks, you're going to see just major difference. And you're going to see just this progress. And also, usually, within that first week, your muscles, they've acclimated. They've gotten used to it. And you're not going to feel that intense pain that you felt originally.
They call it, you know, HE double hockey sticks week for a reason.
Yeah.
But it's only a week. They don't call it a month.
Yeah.
Or a season. It's just 1 week.
Yeah.
Because you usually will work out all your muscles in 1 week, and every day it's like, oh, I can't move. Someone help me.
Yeah.
You know? Tylenol's not going to help this.
Yeah, and then somebody comes and it's like, hey, how you doing?
You're doing amazing.
It's like,
Oh, did you get some sunburn? No, don't touch me.
So that's basically what I was feeling these last 3 days. It was just like, oh my gosh. And then, of course, God was just... Another point that he made, though, is because even with the 6 weeks, I wasn't excited about the 6-week thing. But then I was also thinking, ooh, by 6 weeks, I'm going to be done. like, and then Devin also brought up this. He's like, no, it's kind of like you're going to be doing this every day for the rest of your life. And I was just like, man.
That was just the anvil dropped on the Wile E. Coyote right
like,
there.
No, I don't want to be doing this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But then God, he of course, he steps in. He's really good about kind of stepping in. And
giving us understanding and clarity.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, I don't want you to be discouraged.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to discourage
this is
you.
actually a great thing.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and it's like, yes, it really is this journey. It's just like when you do finally take a step to, I want to change my life for the rest of my life when it comes to health and fitness. It's not something, I did a 6-week program, now I'm set for the rest of my life. No, you just keep working it. You keep going at it. You keep eating well. You keep working out, and you're gonna sustain your results, and you're gonna feel good for the rest of your life when you're doing that.
Yeah, it's a new way of life.
Yes.
Because that's really what you have to do. This is why a lot of people fail at the gym, because they think it's about the gym, and it's like it's not about the gym. It's about the kitchen.
Yeah.
It really is. You got to clean out your cupboards. You got to think differently. You got to shop differently. You have to realize this is a lifestyle, not a 6 or 12-week program. Because if you think that way, you're going to get to the destination. You're going to be like, oh, great. Now I can go back to Penn Station and eat cookies and ice cream.
Yeah.
And you'll be right back where you were.
Which really, if you've ever watched the show The Biggest Loser, perfect example.
Yeah.
You have people who, they really intensely do all the work. They're doing everything. But they get finished with the show, and you come back a year later, and most of them have actually gone right back to where they were.
It's that destination mindset.
And so once again, God, I think he's removed that in me, because I've had this destination mindset of like, ooh, when I get this is how I'll be. And it's like, ooh, when the 6 weeks is up, then I'll be, this awesome person that's not going to need any more work.
Man, I tell you what, this is going to be awesome. When I go on that mission trip, I am going to be super Christian.
Yeah.
People are going to be getting saved and healed. Demons are going to be coming out of people. And then you go on the mission trip and you're like, I feel no different than when I was back at home.
Yeah.
That's because you're not.
Yeah.
You're the same you. The same you that was there is the same you here.
Yeah.
There was no magical, putting on the... You know what I mean? Because that's what we think.
Yeah.
We think it's really like just gonna happen, and it's just like, and I felt like what the Lord was saying to Michelle, to really I think the bulk of the encouragement was like, the reason you think that, man, I'm just gonna be like this all my life, and 6 weeks, really, now I'm gonna be doing it for the rest of my life. There literally is no joy.
Yeah.
In that mindset, like there's no hope. It's like there's really a give up, and the Lord's like, no, the reason you think that way is because you've been struggling with it for a great portion of your life, and you've been trying to get victory over it. Like the anger issue I had, which was that came from really a church hurt that I got, that was solved by God touching it. All the effort I had been giving it over the 6 years wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
And so it's like all the effort you've been trying to, and it ties into that whole console. Yep. You've been trying to do it and work it and push buttons and switches and all that stuff. You've been trying to do it, and Jesus is over there on the couch going, I could help you with that if you want me to. And it's like the whole point is God was like, I have just set you on the path of total victory. The path, I have just set you in the position of you are free indeed.
Yes.
And now you're just growing. You're just working it out. You have just been born in that. There's a lot of birthings and crossing overs that happen in the spirit. Yeah. That's another thing that we do. We think, oh, I had my Jordan experience. Yes, that's one of 78.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you're going to have just like in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
But it's like you've been born. It's like you're feeling the messiness of it. You're feeling the goop on your head. You're still feeling the cord attached to your stomach. But you've just been set on the path that's going to lead to completely overcoming the thing that you're trying to overcome. Yeah. The thing that you have failed in your own strength to overcome, I have just overcome for you. Yeah. And naturally, it doesn't feel like it. That's how you know it's the Lord. It's like it feels like the total opposite. praise the Lord, it's happened.
Yeah.
You know?
So it was just, but God, he just came in and he gave me just some good pictures of like, you know, when you do have a joy set before you, it's worth the pain that you go through. And it's worth, like, he was just showing me, this is worth it. Like, this, what you're feeling today, what you're going through today is worth it. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, wow. And because he reminded me of when I was training for a half marathon like 3 years ago. And I am not a morning person at all. At all.
Never has been.
And I haven't. But for that particular season of my life, I didn't mind waking up at like 5:30 in the morning so I could go run and train so I could complete this race. And yes, there were days where it's like, oh man, my muscles really hurt, but ultimately,
You're
I was just
stepping into a passion. So
yeah,
who's not excited? That's like, oh, it's Christmas morning. Can you give me a couple hours of sleep? Like, no one's going to do that.
No. Yeah. Unless you're a parent who's stayed up all night and they're like, can we sleep,
but
kids?
Even they're excited.
It is,
it's
I
like,
know.
They're like, ooh, I can't wait for them to see this, open
gifts,
this present. They're going to be amazed.
But yeah, so it was just like, God was saying, like, this journey is worth it, and it really is all about the everyday. Everything, every day that
walking
he takes
with the
us.
Lord, like the Garden of Eden. He walked with them. That was his whole point. It's like, I'm just going to come hang out.
Adam and Eve, when he created the garden, they weren't going to a destination. They were at their destination. Yeah. and it was like, exactly it was still just walking. So really, when we come to know Christ, we really have arrived. And from that day forward, it is just walking with the Lord and what he wants us to do. Mm-hmm. And so then today, again, I've been doing so much better today because really my perspective changed even last night. And I was just like, okay.
What is today? Tuesday?
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday?
Yes, today is Wednesday.
Lord. You're kidding.
No.
Is it really Wednesday?
Yes. It's the 15th.
Stay-at-home parents. We're going to write a book called Stay-at-Home Parents. Every day's, what does I say? Every day's Saturday. Or something like that.
Or every day's Wednesday.
Every day's Wednesday. And it's actually Wednesday. Yeah. Okay, continue.
So, anyway. So, this morning, it's been just, again, God's like, feeling like we're just sitting in like the refiner's fire. Mm-hmm. And really, like, again, God was just, I felt like today is, again, this day of, like, being in the fire. We're not hearing a ton from the Lord as far as just direction or,
Well, it's not crazy Grand Central Station activity.
Yes.
That's basically what it is.
That's what it is. And I really am more of a person that I like the activity.
Yeah, you like it.
Like, I like the...
You're like Stephanie, what's her name, from Bethel. You're like, God, you've got to be speaking or I'm dying inside.
Yeah.
And it's like, I am speaking. But you're not saying a ton.
Yeah.
It's not very much, there's not much activity. You're like being stay-at-home dad right now.
Yeah.
You're being homebody right now. I don't like homebody. Let's get outside.
Let's
activity,
go.
Yeah. And he's like, can you pass me the remote?
Yeah. It's like, what? No. So then once we put the kids down for their nap, it was just like, I could really feel it, like just things coming out. And it's like, you know what? No, I'm going to just start praying. And so I started praying and I was just like, Lord, thank you for where you have us. And then we were reading Micah
3
verse 1.
Or...
Well, it was started with verse 1, and then I started reading verse 2 through 4. And I was like, wow, this is so cool, because it's talking about, like, the refiner's fire. And it basically says, but who can endure the day of his coming, and who can stand when he appears? For he is like a refiner's fire and like fuller's soap. He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, and he will purify the priests, the sons of Levi, and refine them like gold and silver, that they may offer to the Lord offerings in righteousness. Then will the offerings of Judah and Jerusalem be pleasing to the Lord as in the days of old, and as in ancient years.
Wow.
And that just really, again, hit me because I'm like, what? Oh, we really are in the refiner's fire. And so then we were just praying, and it was like, just praying, and I was like, Lord, thank you that we will sit here in this fire and endure it as long as you want us to be in here. And as I was praying, though, God was really speaking to you about how you can just share like what God gave to you.
Sure. And I want to sidestep for a second and this will tie in, because yesterday, like for the last week or so, we've been starting to get numbers that we never get.
Yeah.
And yesterday was another one of those times where we started out getting the double zeros and the zeros. I was like, wow, we have never gotten zeros before. And right away, the Lord was like, he showed me this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And he was saying, like, you've always gotten the countdown numbers because I was telling you you're getting close to the end, right? Mm-hmm. But you've never gotten a 0. Because what is 0? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0 means blast off. And Annalise prophesying acceleration and like a rocket going off. And we're sitting in the roller coaster. And he showed me this big red button, kind of like a Staples button, like that Staples commercial. Yeah. It's kind of like that, but like one of those just buttons you press and then he showed us all this yesterday. This was happening yesterday morning, and then we were getting a crazy amount of numbers last night. But it was like, I felt like the Lord was like, that is where you're at, like right now. And I'm like, man, I feel like we can't get any closer, because we've never had zeros.
Yeah.
And how many times did we see like 11 o'clock on the dot? We would just look, and it was like, whoa, it's 11 o'clock. Whoa, it's 12.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, it's like 3 o'clock on the dot or something like that,
We had quite a few
and so God was just like, that's where you're at. You're at the 0 hour. You're at the 0 point where I'm just getting ready to boom. And now why is that important? Because then it ties into this whole refiner's fire thing that he brought up today. Because we're like, well, Lord, you said press the button. Yes, I guess that's a prophetic thing. And it's like, no, that's a now thing. That's a now. It's like, well, why are we still here?
Yeah.
It's like every single day we keep hearing different things, and we're obviously progressing.
Yeah.
But it's like now we're in this refiner's fire thing. Like, what's up with that? And now what's the problem with that? Is because like both of us are coming at it with this refiner's fire is a negative thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, more waiting or pain or chiseling and working. And it's like, man, I thought you already did that. How can we be ready for you to press the button on our lives if there's this refiner's fire type of thing? But the Lord was grieved by that, Not like grieving the Holy Spirit or quenching the Spirit, that kind of thing. But he was just like, oh, man. It was like, oh, you don't understand. Like you don't understand. It's like, because he showed me this vision of us like inside a volcano. Oh my gosh, inside a volcano.
And what does it do when it erupts?
Yep, totally just got that. Anyway, so we were in this volcano, and he was there with us, and I felt like the Lord was like, the warmth of this fire is my love. I'm loving you. I'm like, you don't understand. It's like, what does a master potter do with its piece once it's completely finished? Once it's completely finished, he puts it in the kiln.
Yeah.
He puts it in the fire. And then the only thing that happens after that is it comes out. And he's like, whoa, look at that's amazing. You know what I mean? And it's like, he's like, I am loving you. I'm not hurting you. He's like, do you know how many people I just want to throw this out there. It's like, because I'm not trying to offend anybody by saying this, but it's like, I feel like this is what the Lord is saying. But he's saying, do you know how many people don't let me do this?
Yeah.
It's like, do you know how many? You don't. It's like, there are so many people that I have. Everybody who dies, go to a cemetery. You'll see tons of buried treasure there. And it's like, there are so many times I want to work through my people's life, work in their hearts, and bring them through the tough things, bring them through the fire, place it, but they won't let me. It's like, I'm not going to force myself on, because that's not love. That's not intimate relationship. And it's like, I am loving you. This is a deep, deep part of my love for you. It's like, and we totally changed when we saw that, right?
Yeah. I was just like,
oh,
Lord, I repent. I'm so sorry.
And we really then felt the warmth.
Yes.
It's like, this warmth is supposed to be a comfort for you. Let it be a comfort for you. And then when we saw it that way, it was.
Well, and then it was just like, is there still pain in that process? Yes, there is, but it's really when you know that you're comforted and being surrounded by the love of God, it really numbs that pain.
Yeah, I call it Novocaine pain.
Yeah.
Because you feel them tugging on your tooth, and it's like, oh, dude, I feel the pressure, but it actually doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't have that Novocaine, you'd be knocked out by the pain.
Oh, yeah.
You would just be
Yeah, you really would. And
haven't we felt knocked out by the pain of heart?
Yes.
You know,
many times.
Many times, because we don't see it as God loving us.
Yeah.
As I'm taking you through this process because I love you.
We really do see it as God just taking things. Like you almost see it as him just trying to tear you apart.
Hurting you.
And hurting you.
Yeah.
And it's like God is like, I'm doing the complete opposite. I'm loving you. And then like I just got this, I was just so excited, honestly. Because I realized when in this verse, in verse 4, it was like, then the offerings basically will be pleasing to the Lord. And
as they were in
ancient times.
Yeah.
And I was just like, God, you are doing all of this in our life. You are bringing us into the fire. You are loving us and refining us so that our offerings are going to be pleasing to you. And I just was reminded of, how, you're going to go before the Lord and he's going to burn up everything all the works that are just hay and stubble.
Soul.
And
that's really what soul-born Ishmael-like type of ministry things and lifestyle things,
And then there's the things that are true treasures. And I just felt like God is because he's done this process, the things that we are going to do for him are going to be treasures. They're not going to be hay and stubble.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
something that he can marvel at and go, whoa, look at that.
Yeah, and it's just such an incredible thing because I'm like, wow, God, you love us enough to make us into the people that are able to give you the things that your heart desires. Yeah. And it was just, I was like, I don't know, I'm just kind of blown away by it because it's like, I think so many of us, our hearts really are, you want to be able to give God the things that he wants. And he's just like, all right, I'm going to do that for you. And I'm going to take you through this process and I'm going to refine you and I'm going to put you through the fire and all of that, and I'm going to hammer you. And when you come out...
Just that idea. I'm going to hammer you. It's like, see? You're trying to hurt me.
It's like, no. He's like, I am actually making you into this beautiful vessel that will then be able to be used however the king wants it to be used. And that's really what it's about. It's about being a vessel for the Lord that he can just use how he wants to use. And then, go ahead, do you have something?
Well, I was thinking back in 2002, when I was like that couple weeks in that homeless shelter. I had just moved to Lawrenceburg, Indiana, and I had all these high hopes of what I felt like God was going to do. And I was in the exact opposite. I don't even have a home right now, bro. And then I'm sitting there waiting for this bus to come and pick me up to take me to Walmart because I just got a job there. So this was September 2002. And the Lord reminded me of this movie that I had seen called Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And it was all about this sword. It wasn't about the sword, but this sword called the Green Destiny. It was unbreakable. And it was like, because it had been folded 7,000 times. And even back then, God was like, that's what I'm making you into.
Oh, wow.
And he just reminded me of that just now. I remember that. Like, dang, that was a long time ago. It was like over 15 years ago that he told me that. And he was like, it has to be folded many times. And it's the same slow, tedious process with each time. And it's like no one takes time to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, but if you can do that, man, you'll be able to cut through anything. Because in that movie, that sword cut through other swords. Nothing could stand with if the green destiny was in the, hear me, if the green destiny was in the right hand, oh man, that person was the champion. And it's like God wants to have the right kind of vessels, the right kind of instruments, the right kind of people in his hand. And those are yielded vessels who offer him up offerings that are in spirit and truth. Yeah. Not in anything else. Not in the flesh. Not in the, well, I thought it was a good idea, so I went after it. And it's like, well, that's wood, hay, and stubble stuff right there. Yeah. That's not the kind of offering that God would... The kind of offering that Cain offered up was something he thought would be a good offering, and then God rejected it, and then he was like, I'm mad. It's like, well, offer what I said to offer, you know? And the scripture says, offer yourself as a living sacrifice, you know, that's pleasing to the Lord, not something he just wants to see you burn up. And, you know, I don't want to see you burn up and die and sizzle. No, it's just like he wants to see you become, he wants to burn away all the flesh and selfish desire and all that and bring out the Christ in you that's already in there. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And I think too the other picture just along with it is to be reminded that God is with us. And I was reminded of, when someone's they're doing like glass blowing or anything like that. Yeah. Like the person that's making it, the refiner, they are watching it constantly. Yeah. Like they can't just like, it's not like God just put us in this fire and it's like, I'll see you later, guys. In the oven and I'm just come back in 50 minutes. Yeah. See if you're golden brown. Got my timer on and we'll see if you're done. It's like, no, he is constantly watching, looking, and it's like, okay, I see that. All right, I'm twisting it just so, he's constantly every detail watching us, and that just reminded me of like the Jeremiah 1:12, where he is watching over his work to perform it, and I don't know if anything, like today I really have just literally in the last 2 hours have just experienced and seen the love of God in a completely new and different way that is literally life-changing. Well, you've stepped into a new week of your workout program. Yeah. The painful parts over, now you're like, oh man, this actually feels good to do this. Yeah. Ooh, I like it. Now you're going to step over into gym addiction. No, let's not go there. Seriously, man, people get into it after they cross a certain threshold, then they become what they call gym rats or gym addicts. Hey, I think God's all right. Because the feeling of it is just so awesome. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's the comfort of God's love. Yeah. Even if it's burning away things that are of the flesh or something, it will become a comfort to us. Yeah. Not a pain or God's smacking me or correcting me type of thing. You know? And the awesome thing is when it comes to the Spirit, there is no law. There is nothing that says, well, you can only experience the love of God this much. If you keep growing in it, that's too much. It's like, no. There's no limit. There is no limit to anything of the Spirit, and which is just totally awesome. Yeah. So that's all we have for you guys today. Yeah. I hope that you are encouraged and that you can just take away that God really, really loves you. And the volcano's getting ready to erupt, y'all. We're getting ready to be pulled out of the kiln, and God's going to be like, look at what I have done. Look at this beautiful family. Look at this beautiful person right there. Yes. Like, look at what they've allowed me to do. This is going to be amazing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, until next time, guys, we'll see you later. See you guys later. Bye. Getting ready to push that button. Boop. Yeah.